Welcome back my YouTube families. Today I'm baking my daughter's 21st birthday cake. Her favorite cake is tiramisu, and if you want to know the recipe for this cake, please refer back to the video where it says steam cake. Yeah, that's the best cake to make tiramisu. It's not heavy, it's light. Especially tiramisu is a heavy cake, so you want to keep the cake itself a bit light so you can enjoy it. You could taste every ingredients that you put in the cake. So I've made this cake last night and I need to cut it now. So I'll show you how I cut it. I use one of these cutters, so easy. But if you don't have one, if you're very good with knives, then do it that way. It's okay. I've just finished slicing it. Okay. To remove the cake, it's a bit tricky, but you want to use one of your chopping board. I do use color code boards, so they're quite flimsy and they're quite handy too. So I'm going to take the top layer off. It's nice when you make your own cake. Like since COVID came, everything went up in price. So when you make something, you are in control of the ingredients and you can keep the cost low as well. You won't believe this cake, it looks very expensive when I finish. It only costs less than $25. You easily can feed 20 people, between 15 and 20. And it will cost you less than 25, as I said. You wonder what is my next step. I need to make a syrup for it. So we need to make coffee syrup. Nothing artificial. Everything is natural ingredients that you can source it from your kitchen. Nothing have to be expensive. If I use Khlua, this is the liquor that I'm going to use. Liquor. So that you source it what you can afford it. Okay, it doesn't have to be this. You can get the cheapest version of this. That's quite fine. And I'm also going to use a bit of whiskey in it. So let me go through what I'm going to use. Let me put away this, then I'll come back. To make the coffee syrup for the tiramisu cake, I'm going to add 1 liter of water in here. This is extra. It will be extra. But it's better to have more than less. Otherwise you can't soak the cake. You can use half of it, that's fine, but I like to use more so I can keep it because you can store this in the fridge. Okay, it's not going to go bad. And I've got 250 grams of dark brown sugar. Just add it to it. And I've got 20 grams of instant coffee powder. I'm using this brand. Just use whatever you have in your kitchen. That's fine. It doesn't have to be exactly the same brand. I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. I normally use it in all the dessert. Cinnamon powder. As you know, cinnamon powder helps to regulate your blood sugar. It also helps your sugar absorption in your guts and maintain a healthy blood sugar level too. So that's the reason I add in everything. Okay, I'm going to take this to the stove in a bit. Before I do, I'll add everything so it's easier for me to do the video because I'm doing it all by myself, so it's not easy. And I went and got this today. So I'm going to add 3 tablespoons. As you know, alcohol presence doesn't stay in the food. As soon as you cook it, it just evaporates into the air. Yeah, vaporize into the air, sorry. So I've got here 2. I'll put another 1 more tablespoon. 3 tablespoons. And I'm gonna add, instead of whiskey, I don't have whiskey that's been opened, so it's all unopened bottles. So I'm gonna use a cheap brandy. You can use anything, I said, because coffee is going to give you the flavor and this is going to enhance the tiramisu flavor. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. 1, 2, and that's it. And take it to the stove, bring it to boiling state and boil it for 5 minutes. As you can see, it's boiling now. So I'm going to turn it off and bring it to room temperature. So I need to cool it down. While the syrup is cooling down, I've already pre-made the cream. So here I have got 600 grams of thick whipped cream and 250 to 350 gram mascarpone cheese. So it doesn't really matter. Some tub it comes 350, some only comes 250. Doesn't really matter. So I already whip it and I put a bit of cinnamon powder in it as well. And I put 2 teaspoons of Khalua plus half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder and 150 grams of icing sugar. You whip it until it's thickened like that and you keep it in the fridge, preferably overnight because you need it to be very, very cold. And with the syrup, I did add extra 50 grams of dark brown sugar. You can add up to 350. It's really up to you how sweet you want it. So while waiting for that, I'm going to put this back in the fridge and come back. You can see the leftover pieces. All I have to do is still warm the syrup, but I'm just going to soak it. Give it a good stir so it's fully absorbed. You can break them into smaller pieces. It's quite fun. You just mash it up. So it's easier to compact in the cup. Okay, I'll just leave it as it is. I pour it into one of this bottle and you can just squeeze it, or you can use I'll show you what else you can use if you don't have one of those. So this is the bottle of empty thick cream. What you can do, take a sharp knife, be careful of your hand again, make holes like that on the top of the cap, okay? Make many holes that you can, like so. And you can pour the syrup in here and then drizzle, put the cap back and hold with your finger so the cap doesn't come loose, and it will be a disaster if it did come loose, because you're going to pour everything. And then you just drizzle like so, like that. But I'm going to use this because I have these, so I'm going to use that. I've used this in the past. I'm going to start drizzling, because let it soak. Start in the middle and then gradually take it around. The syrup is a little bit warm still, but that's fine because it can cool down with the cake. And you can see if the cake is very spongy and like this, it's easier for the syrup to get absorbed in it. I don't see many people view the recipe for this cake, but you have to look at it. I think it might look boring, but if you try making it, you will get addicted to this cake. It's so easy to make, and I'm going to show you how I make banana loaf with this. Any extra that spills on the side, you can wipe it off later. And you repeat this process for the other 2 layers as well. So I'm going to use one whole bottle like this, squeeze it out onto this cake. Hopefully it's absorbed right to the bottom of this cake. I just flipped over the cake, the top piece that I sliced, so that it all looks even. It doesn't look bumpy, so we can fix it up with the cream. And you can use a ladle to even pour it in like that. Whichever way that makes it easier for you. It doesn't really have to be a certain way, as long as you get all this coffee syrup soaked inside. That's all we need. I placed it on the turntable, so it's easier for me to apply the cream. Okay, now I think it's more than enough syrup. I think it's fully absorbed. If anything that's spilling, just wipe it off with the paper towel. I'm going to use a piping bag for the cream, so just cut it as much as you need. So I'm going to cut it about there. Flip it over the cup. I'm using a disposal cup. Just flip it over a cup like that and make sure. Okay, and we're going to scoop up the cream. I'll show you because I think you can't see. Let me move these aside, so hopefully you can see it now. Just remove the wrap. I hope you can see. And I'm going to scoop with these. Oh, it's a bit watery. Probably I need to whip a little bit more till it's thickened. Okay, I have to whip a little bit more. So I'm going to use a piping bag to spread the cream. So cut it I might cut it that much. And I'm going to insert it into a cup, like that's a measuring cup. Get whatever tall cup that you have in the house and just flip it inside out and make sure, yeah, like that. And now I'm going to add the cream to it. If you taste the cream before you spread it on the cake, whether that sweetness is enough for you. If you think it's not enough sweet, then add more icing sugar, because I don't like too sweet. I like to taste the bitterness of the cake, the taste of the alcohol, though the alcohol present is not in the cake because it's been boiled. When you cook alcohol, it actually vaporizes into the air. I think I'm saying the right thing. If I'm not, just correct me please. But again, this cake is not suitable for anyone under 18 years of age because it has alcohol in the cream. Just squeeze it. We're going to go around it. It doesn't matter if it's not even. It doesn't have to be perfect because you can't see this layer. As soon as you put the second layer on top, you won't be able to see it. I need to fill up more. I just refill the bag. Be generous with the cream. Okay, so I'm just going to fill up where it's not filled properly. Just add a bit extra here, I think. Just a little bit more here. Gently insert your hand underneath the second layer. Lift it gently like that and place it on top of the other layer. Okay, looks perfect. Now we're going to go on top of the second layer. I might add a little bit more syrup just in case. Okay, sorry, I put a cap on it. I think that's enough. Let's pipe the cream. You can start in the middle like that. It doesn't really matter. I think I wasn't quite in the middle. Okay. So I didn't start quite in the middle. I'm just going to go around it like that. As I said, you don't have to be perfect because you can't see it. Now we can fill the gaps like that. Got to fill a bit more here. Looks a bit dense. This side looks a bit lower, so I'm going to fill in a bit more here just to even up. As you spread the cream, you can see if the cakes tend to be a bit lower on one side, just top up with more cream. Okay, so that's done. And I'm going to flip the other cake over it. Got to be really careful. I'm just going to slightly put my hand underneath. Do it as fast as you can but make sure don't break the cake. As you can see, when I put the final bit, of course the piping bag is going to be a bit messy, just jiggle a little bit like that for it to go right to the bottom, and then grab the top and squeeze. Yep, that's done. And before I do that, I want to top up more coffee syrup on the last layer. And you can see some part the cake is a bit lower than the other part, and this is the time that you need to perfect it because this is the top layer. Okay, that's enough, I think. Now let me start here. I can see some places are lower than the other sides, but we're going to fill that up. Okay, this is only just a top layer, and after that you got to scoop it up. Not scoop it up from here, you got to scoop it up from here and level it with a spatula. Sorry, sometimes I tend to say things a bit fast and then it sounds so silly. And then when I watch my own video and I just laugh and I go, oh God, what have you done to the video? But you know the recipe is right. I hope you understand, because normally I put a description in the description box if the recipe is a bit complicated. If it's a very straightforward recipes, I normally don't put descriptions, and I'm sure you can follow it. If you can't, just drop a in the comment section and I'll put the description on for you. Thank you. I'm so happy. Today I've got 222 subscribers. You made my day. Thank you to all my subscribers. I'm not going to go right to the edge. I'm going to use a spatula and then turn it around to finish it. I'm going to keep this and I'll show you how I do it in the cup. The reason why I did that layer first with a piping bag, because you don't want to touch the cake. Now you can shape. Now you can. It's so easy if you have one of these turntable. I know it's a little bit expensive, but it's a long-term investment. You can keep it for a long time. You can get it, I guess, online. It's cheaper. I got it in a physical shop, so it's expensive. I think I paid about $50 Australian. So look for it on online shops like Amazon might have it, eBay will have it. Probably you only pay like half the price or even less. I don't shop much in online. You can call me being paranoid, I'm not sure, because twice I've been scammed. People have drawn money from my card, and since then I just don't do much online transactions. I think it's perfect. I'm going to put fresh flour to finish it on the top, but I will do that tomorrow because her birthday is tomorrow. I'm not going to put a flower now and it won't look nice tomorrow. So I'll show you the final product, how it's going to look like. We're going to do it together. We're going to do this cake together for Naomi's birthday. She's going to be so excited. She's got all these aunties, uncles, or sisters, brothers around the world watching this recipe, and we'll celebrate her birthday together. Hopefully she'll allow me to do it online. I'm not sure, okay? I can't promise you that, but at least we are baking the cake together for her 21st birthday. She's quite a private person. She's a very simple girl. She's got a beautiful, gentle soul. Okay, I pray she stays like that, and I believe she will. Now we're going to do the sides. See, this is what I said, because if I put the thing on top, sometime when it touches the cake, then it just comes, get a paper. So there's going to be a long video, and I hope you have patience to watch this. I tell you, you won't regret it. As you can see, I said you don't have to be perfect because we're going to do a lot of stuff to the cake. So you don't want to mess around too much because the icing is very soft and I don't like it to melt because the weather is quite hot. Okay, so we're going to use these to line up like that. That will hide all the imperfection. If you think it's too high, don't worry about it. We'll fix it. Just give it a gentle press so it sticks to it. I hope you can see. Okay, if it's moving apart, keep it very close. I'll move it a little bit more like that. You can see it. As you can see, the cake is ready. You can't see any imperfection. Whatever excess cream it's sitting on the tray, we're going to wipe that off. So I'm going to tie a ribbon. Guess what? My daughter doesn't know where she put the ribbon. Since I can't find the ribbon, I've got a spare ribbon that I'm going to use it. Okay, so we're going to tie this. I'm going to staple it. That's to hold the biscuit in place because the length is not enough. That's the reason I'm trying to staple it. Is that all lined up? What do you think? Does it look nice? You're not going to disappoint Naomi. So thank God she's not a fussy girl. I guess you want to see what I'm doing. I'm not sure if I can show you. Okay, I'm going to put a knot, put another knot. Okay, and then we're going to do the bow. Okay, it's very fiddly. I'm going to put another layer of gold ribbon where I found the actual ribbon for the cake is the one that's lost. Not sure where it's misplaced. So I'm going to cut it, put that aside. I'm going to use double side tape. Measure it. It's about there. We cut 2 pieces just in case. Okay, I'm not going to use the stapler. The best thing is to stick it on the ribbon first before attaching to the other ribbon. It's easy when you're peeling it off when she's cutting the cake, but it's so hard to put on this particular ribbon because I had a special ribbon for the cake. It was much easier to tie it on. That's the type of ribbon I always use. But we're not going to disappoint. We still can do it. Nothing can be done. Nothing can stop us from achieving and celebrating this birthday. She wants a very quiet birthday, just a family affair. That's fine. A lot of things are happening, and so now we're going to attach this. I'm not sure whether this is going to stick. I'm trying to cover it either way, looking like a Christmas cake now, because this ribbon is for Christmas, but I'm going to use it whatever that I have. I think it does look nice. I'll tidy up in a bit. I got to do a bowl for this. So it's done. What do you think? I think it looked nice. Okay, we're just going to ignore that it looks like a Christmas cake, alright? So it's a birthday cake. Okay, that's how the cake looks, but I need to finish the top tomorrow. I'm going to show you how we're finishing it. Okay, we can't put fresh flowers now. I'm going to use edible flowers. Now I'm going to show you how to do it in this cup. It doesn't really matter which layer you want to put it in first. You've got to squash it this. Just press it down as much as you can, making a lot of noise. That's how it looks. We're going to put another layer in. Just give it a gentle press. I'm going to turn it around to see how it looks. It looks pretty. We're going to clean it up on the top anyway. So I'm going to put more. It's already late night now. I think it's about midnight. And top up with another layer. I'm going to give it to Naomi, this cake. Her favorite cake. Anything that's tiramisu, she will buy it. Whether it's ice cream, it's chocolate. So we can create a little pattern in this. Now we're going to clean it up with a paper towel. Like that. Use your hand to, my hand is clean anyway, but don't do this when you're doing for other people. Okay, with the cream I actually use extra thick cream. The amount of the mascarpone cheese is the same as the measurement, just the thick cream I add another extra bottle, so which is about, give it a bit of tap like that. Final finish, I'm going to drizzle some chocolate over it. So that's how it looks. What do you think? It looks really pretty, right? Do you think I should dig in? Maybe I shouldn't. I'll taste the crumbs. It's really nice. So I'm going to gradually fill up the outside bit. Let's try a different pattern. Making small roses, but I'm going to put fresh flour to finish it off. Because it's a birthday cake, I need to make a lot of fresh creams. So I made like triple, I would say. You know, I said it's about 20 to 30. I think you can even serve about 40 people this cake because it is pretty big. I'm not bothered about the consistency of the size of the roses that I'm making because it all will be covered up with chocolate dust and also fresh flowers. Okay, so we got to do the outside as well. Should we, or keep it plain? I think we don't want to do too much. So these are the fresh flowers. They're edible flowers, and that's mint or basil, I would say. I think it's like a Thai basil. Okay, these flowers are from the garden. We grew a lot of edible flowers. So you see how handy it is when you have edible flowers? There's ants in the flower. I already rinsed the flower. Can't overdo it because they're very fragile, very soft and fragile. I'm going to take this bow out because it does look a bit more Christmas theme, and we're not going to have that bow. You know, I'm so glad Naomi has a lot of online relatives, and I'm so happy about it. Doesn't mean if you don't have relatives, you're alone. We are not. I don't feel that. I feel that you guys are always with me. To hide it, I'm going to insert the flower in here. We will. Look at that, how pretty it looks. I do have some purple borage. They're also edible flowers, so we can put in a random space like that. Yeah, there wasn't many, so I'm going to use what I have. And we're going to take the petal. I'm going to snip the petal. Okay, that's the wrong scissors. Snip it so you get the stem. If you break it, you might break it too short, so we don't want to do that. Okay. There's no color in this cake. completely color free, and there's no flavor. It does all natural flavors. I prefer a lot of natural flavors. And then we're just going to dust some chocolate powder now. This is cacao powder. You can use unsweetened version or sweetened version. If you think it's going to be too bitter, just mix it in with the normal chocolate powder. So let's, okay, it's too much for some places. That's okay. Maybe I should put some here. Okay. And I'm going to randomly place like that. Just give a girly, pretty look. She's going to college at the moment. Well, in America you call it college. In Australia we call it university. Yeah. So I don't want her to see the cake. What do you think now? That's the finish. I'm just going to put a plug, happy birthday plug. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. I'll come with more nice cakes for birthdays. I make all different type of cakes and make it as all with natural ingredients. I'm not very sure whether I should do the age or I'm just going to tidy it up because there isn't got much space. So